Today, I was sent another deck. I typically don't like reviewing decks, I'll be honest here, but let's take a look inside and see what we got here, huh? Alright, so inside it's pretty standard stuff here. We got the deck itself, pretty basic. Got a remote in case you want to use this with Bluetooth for like Bluetooth audio, which we're not really going to do too much because we mostly use this for gaming, and that means we're probably going to go wired, which is why this kind of stuff annoys me, because, you know, I need to plug this into a amp so I can have it, so I can have, like, you know, headphones to plug it into, because decks usually will plug into an amp so that you can have, like, all the controls and whatnot. But other than that, this will at least clean up my current system in terms of the sound and override as being the main DAC for it, so we'll see how that changes things. And power cable to connect it to your device, probably your computer, USB-C, and of course you get your paperwork. Alright, well, here it is. It's basically a metal box. Nothing crazy going on here. The front here, as you can tell, it's pretty simple. It's got a matte texture, but this does light up and give you all the information you need when it is on. You got a knob here to adjust like the volumes and whatnot, but as you can tell, there's no ports in the front to plug headphones into. You're gonna have to plug this into another device because it's just a DAC, so you're gonna need to plug it into an amp or some sort of device that has an amps. And of course, you can see the plugs in the back, and that's what you're gonna be plugging things into essentially with your inputs and outputs, power, and of course, you got a little antenna here in case, you know, you want to use Bluetooth. This is removable in case you want to. Pretty simple stuff here. Random, but there is one downside I should mention that I don't like too much, which is the cable, the power cable. This thing is really short, so you better have a short cable or a longer power cable lying around, but luckily it uses a standard like size power cable. Nothing crazy here. Alright, to make things work, I'm going to be plugging the DAC into this basic DAC amp combo. This is a shit full of two, which is now old and outdated, and if that thing can make this sound better, we're off to a great start. Okay, I just finished testing these guys on gaming and music, and honestly, we're off to a great start, though I should preface things, and that's that this is a DAC. If you have a DAC, you're going to need something like an amp to plug it into, or maybe an audio interface that also has an amp in it that can support like the outputs and inputs and whatnot, or maybe even speakers that happen to have a 3.5mm jack in case you want to plug in, you know, your headphones to like use them on there for whatever reason. Point is, this is more of an audiophile product, and this is not a video for those of you who are just gamers who don't have any gear or anything. This is for someone who's a little higher up. So if you're an audiophile who also games a lot, or you're a gamer who likes audiophile stuff, then this is who this video is for, essentially, just to get that out of there. If you're not, then, you know, this probably won't interest you. But if you're in that market and you know what we're looking for, and we're looking for a DAC for your setup, this could be a good one because it does such a good job. So first of all, to get the full worth of it for 200 bucks, you better be using a Bluetooth, because this has a lot of support for various codecs, and that makes it really good and versatile in that realm. But it also has a lot of outputs and inputs and whatnot that you can use, which is great in case you want, like, you know, to plug it into basically everything that you got. Maybe not everything if you have an incredibly complicated setup, but at least like enough of the things that you'll be using at home, in which case this will be really great for your battle station to improve your audio experience. Alright, now with all that yammering aside, let's talk about what it actually did to my sound. And as you can imagine, being a DAC, it cleaned up the sound very well. Electronic interference kind of sounds of hums and whatnot basically kind of erases it from what I had on this guy right here, giving a much cleaner sound experience, so I can really get those details and sounds in a far less distorted kind of way. There was more detail overall, and that was kind of noticeable, and I felt it was basically all around, but it was more noticeable in the mid-range because I was able to pick apart sounds and hear things I haven't heard before, or things that were kind of faint in the, you know, before were less faint now, because I can now pinpoint that sound a lot easier. So in the process of doing all this, I guess there was better sound separation, which is great always. And I guess if we throw this into gaming, which is, you know, what I'm using these for and usually reviewing these for, I would say it improves your ability to track things because it makes things more accurate with the better sound separation. Tracking for people is better with these than without these. Will it be a game changer and make you a better gamer? No, because that's also skill-based. But I will say it improves the experience when you're trying to track for people, whether you're hunting them or trying not to get caught by them, because of that more accurate sound. But once again, I should mention that it's not going to be like day and night. You're going to be a better gamer with these. But if I had a choice to use them with or without, I would prefer with, because the sound was just better. Just felt more engaging even in the process. And I guess that then brings us to non-competitive gaming, in which case, more detail, better sound separation, cleaner sound. That just means a better time immersing yourself into the atmosphere. It just feels good, you know? That immersion that you get, I think, was better with this than without this, because of the way it cleaned up and presented the sound the way it should be. However, I guess that could make you break out of it if the sound engineering for the game itself was bad. Then that's a problem in of itself, in which case this won't even save you. Whatever problems and bad sounds that there already are, or poorly detailed sounds they decided to put in the game, you will notice them now, because this will present you in the way that it was made. So there is that side of things. But in a game that's better designed sound-wise, yeah, immersion's great. At the end of the day, this is still a $200 DAC, and for this to be worth it to anybody, you gotta have an amp of some sort to plug it into. So if you don't have that, I can't recommend this to you guys yet. But if you do have an amp, at 200 bucks, I do think this has a really good value for what it does for your sound, but it is the most worth it if you can utilize the Bluetooth for your other devices, because it does support a lot of codecs, including LDAC, for that high quality sound. But if you're not going to be using the Bluetooth, it is, it's still, I would say it's still kind of worth it, but a lot less worth it, because, if you got Bluetooth, might as well use it, But if you're not going to be using Bluetooth, I can still imagine, like, some people would be really happy to have, like, this DAC to improve their sound experience. I still do think, to get the full, like, money's worth out of it, you gotta use the Bluetooth. Otherwise, I would get a DAC that doesn't have Bluetooth, but still improves my sound very well if I'm not going to be using the Bluetooth. That being said, that's basically all I have for this today, so, really hard for me to review DACs on the channel. The moment I do this kind of review for this kind of product, we're in audiophile land / audiophile who happens to game land. And, it's really hard not to get ultra into the nitty-gritty technical stuff, and I try to keep things simple, and sometimes it's hard. A lot of times it's hard. So, that being said, you want to buy it? Link in the description, gives me a kickback because it's an affiliate link. This was sent to me for review. Doesn't really affect my review. I can say whatever I want, but, just so you know. Yeah, link down there. Keeps me alive. I gotta send this guy back now, so, man, that's all I have. I don't know I don't have much else to say about this. It's a good product. It's solid. But, I can't tell you if you want it or not. If you know that you want it, you know. If you know you don't want it, you know. So, yeah, see you guys next time.